Winnie, welcome to my podcast, which is called I'll Call My Guy or Gal, but guy in the gender neutral sense. My name is Rich Rockland and pleasure to meet you. Thank you for coming on. I've been to India 3 times, and when I learned of your Indian heritage, I was very excited because I tell my wife if things don't work out, I'm going to India to find an Indian wife. Because I'm obsessed
That's
with Indian culture and Indian people, and it really
beautiful.
has a place in my heart. I'm curious, what part of India did you emigrate from?
I was born in Kerala, so I'm
Oh, I've been to
from,
Kerala. Yeah.
it's one of the most beautiful piece of
Oh,
land
yeah.
on earth, I'll say.
I
We
think
call
I
it
was in,
God's own country.
yeah, Thekady. Is that where I went? You know, Thekady?
Bakery, yes,
Yeah, I've been
yes.
to Thekady, and then there's another name of a town, and I would butcher it, but Paramp, it's a long, long name. It's
Thiruvananthapuram.
yes, 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 that's it.
That's where I was born. I was born in Thiruvananthapuram. Yes.
Yes, yes, yes. I spent a couple of nights or one night on a boat, like a one of those houseboats
Yeah,
or
backwaters boat. Yeah,
backwater
houseboat.
boat. Yeah, and they fished and they cooked for us. It was fantastic, beautiful.
It's beautiful. Always say someday, my kids are here, so I'm not sure, but want to go back and retire.
So that area of India is, I think even it's a communist government, right? Like,
Yeah, it is mostly, but it is ideologies people believe in, but it's mostly communist. Yes.
yeah, yeah, no, but not like the. It didn't seem like in the bad communist way. It seemed like in
No,
the
no, that's what I try to people when you hear the word communist, especially lately, we're hearing a lot of
yeah, 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 yeah.
ifs and buts. Yeah,
Right, and the Kerala is a mostly Christian state as well, right?
they have both. The best part is just if I get 2 minutes to talk about Kerala.
Yeah.
Kerala is one of the only states in India where you have Hindus, Muslims, and Christians very peacefully living together
Yes, yes.
in sovereignty, and they celebrate each other's events and festivals, and their marriages and
Yeah, yeah,
everything, and they live like there's so much unity,
yeah,
so
yeah.
but it is we do see a lot of Christianity influence of Christianity because of the Portuguese,
Oh,
a
right.
lot of Portuguese, yeah, because of the port, so it's like Goa
Yeah.
in Maharashtra, yeah,
Further
so
north. Yeah. And I think didn't one of the I think Jesus's disciples traveled to that area.
yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah, no, I loved it there, and it was I spent a few days there, and I mostly spent time in Surat and up in Gujarat. But yeah, I was excited to see that about you and how much you've achieved coming to this country, and most importantly, how you were impacting the community. And
We
it's
try. I
so we're
still, I sit on every table and tell I'm just so underrepresented, which I'm not happy about. But we are on every plate. One of the most delicious dish, I always say, because we are the highest taxpayers, but we are so marginalized, and the reason could be ourselves. Like we are not selling ourselves well. We don't glorify honestly of how much we contribute to this community. And I go into events and talk to the younger generations to say, hey, we need to find a way to market ourselves better because we do so much.
so let's talk about that a little bit. So you come here, you said 31 years ago, not to date you, but how old are you when you come here?
Oh, I'll tell you, probably I was in late 20s.
Late 20s. Okay. Now, how was your English then? Were you fluent then?
No, I went to honestly because I was born in Kerala, but I was raised in Bangalore.
Okay.
So having been raised in Bangalore, Bangalore is more of a, it's like New York here. So I was raised in a city where, we went to schools. I went to one of, it's public schools, but it is, we call it central schools in India. So I went to schools where English was the language to learn. So my
Oh,
English was not bad. But what I did struggle was the accent, which I do still have it, a little bit of it.
very
But what
little.
I did hold that back because I'm very proud of that piece. So I said I would never change that because I'm very proud of that little bit that I have, which is a part of me, which I hold on tight to. And people say, "Oh, this doesn't sound like this. It needs to sound." I said, "No, I'm happy with that." I want it to sound that way because I want that little piece for myself that I hold tight, that I'm part from that part of the world. I'm still very proud of my accent. The accent was the only problem I did have when I landed here, so, but it is what it
So
is.
you come here in your 20s, and how do you make your way to Connecticut?
I believe, still tell my husband, for me, it was the calling. I believe that because I came in with my husband. He was here on a visa status, and so I joined him. We are not people who believe in raising kids, in two different spaces. We want to be team players in raising our kids. So I decided to join him because he had better options here. I was doing extremely well back in India. I was a principal at an international school there. So when I came here, my idea was to go back to public schools and high school and I came with double masters to work at public schools. But life happens, and life happened around me where I ended up being in a space in a preschool space where I could only volunteer because I did not have a visa to work. So I volunteered because I have what it takes, wanted to be around kids. That's my happy space.
Right.
The director was had to leave the position or let go, and I was asked to lead because I was there and I had the credentials to do what it takes. And the space was also going through struggles. And they felt I had what it takes to man that ship, which is sinking. And I took it on, and since then I've been there. So it's I've been in this happy space I call my second home for last 20 years.
Wow. Well, let me ask you a little this. In terms of your upbringing in Bangalore, was it a traditional Indian household? Was mother, father, siblings, intact family?
Yes, it was a nuclear family. It's what we call mom, dad, and
Right.
siblings. But we did have our grandparents play a big role because both of my mom and dad worked. My dad was a veteran, so he was with armed forces, traveled a lot.
All right. So you come here. Your husband is from Kerala as well?
He is from Kerala as well, but he brought up in Bangalore also.
Bangalore. So you both come here and you start the volunteer work. And so and are you your organization is based in the Danbury area?
Yes, it is.
Okay. So let's talk about the kind of work you do and the communities that you reach out to and how that works and how you're funded.
I'm part of the Community Action Agency of Western Connecticut. It's a CAP agency here in Danbury, and I head the childcare piece of it. I hate to call it childcare and daycare. We call it preschool. We have 150 kids. When I did start was, 125. And we do have, we extended it out this year to have another facility that we do house another 40 kids. It is basically low income families. So the agency work with low income families in different capacities, be it energy, housing, husky, childcare, of course. And it is beautiful to be part of a team that's out there helping the most neediest in the community. That's what attracted me to go in, and also stay there because I love what I do. And our goal, be it any of these parts, any of it, is get the families to self-sufficiency. So it's part of childcare. It's not just offering childcare to families who are single moms, incarcerated, drug addicts, DCF families. We take care of and low income families. Absolutely. So what we do is we just don't build that relationship with the kiddos who join us as caregivers. We also build that with the families, who are part of that caregiving, where the kids go back to, be it the grandparents, uncles, aunts, or the parents itself, or if they're with the DCF. We have a very collaborative, we partner, with them because we cannot do it alone. I'm someone who strongly believe that you cannot do it alone. So we partner in that. When you look at that landscape of how we work, I always say it takes a community, it takes a village.
Oh, that's wonderful. Have you always seen yourself working with kids and families since you were young?
Oh yes, yes. I came from a family who take to like my mom. I said worked, in the education department. She worked with kids, and my dad, being a veteran, and he always with armed forces. It was just not a job for him. He worked with families, so we've been instilled that for since the younger days that we have to be part of this larger we have a little small family, but we have a larger family that we have to include ourselves into.
How is your experience as a parent impacted your or influenced the way that you lead your organization?
I would say a lot. When I got here, I had my oldest son. He was 4 years old. So, we had struggles and sat on tables to advocate for my oldest son. And he has his own struggles, be it language or, coming from families very marginalized, and we were looked away for, didn't look for services. In, for many reasons. I hate to start that because we've gone past it, and I've been constantly reminded by my kids, it's done. Let's not talk about it. But it's a lesson learned over the years that if you don't stand up for your kids, you don't advocate for yours, who will do it? They are not quite there to advocate for themselves. So when you do it for a reason. And what happens when you do it for your kids, own kids, is you start to look at families who did not have the skill set or shy away from doing it for their own kids. And you say, hey, let me be that person to help the family do it. That's how I fell into this whole puzzle.
And to that end, what values guide you at work?
It starts with me. Yeah, I was I was just talking to my kids. I have my second guy came into my life 17 years later after my first one. So
Oh,
my yeah, they're 17 years apart. So my younger guy is 16 now. So, we sit through and he said, Mom, I'm alone. It's summer. I'm alone. I'm bored. So I said, look at your company, right? I said, look at your company. And he said, my company, I'm alone. I said, yeah, that's exactly what I'm trying to say. Fix your company, fix yourself. You are the company. And you're bored because you've not fixed your company. That is yourself. So it's something what Sadhguru had told many years, and that's quote from him. So we have to look at ourselves, so we don't consider our time, me time, as boring. So it starts from that. So if you can work on yourself and make yourself a person that's interesting enough to have that me time and stay and not so feel, then you have enough to give it to others.
good advice. How did the journey with the Action Early Learning Center begin? Like, how did that start?
So when I did start, like I did tell, I was planning to be at a high school level, and I was looking at working with high school kids, but it was coincidence and life happened, and I was at this place working with little kids, volunteering, and some kind of a magic that, I always say, it's the calling. I repeat that everywhere I go. I do believe I was called for this. And every child that walks into your space teaches you something more than you walked in with. And most times, the most difficult ones are the ones who teach you to get your tools together. Something more that you learn, equip yourself. And early childhood education, that's how I got attracted to that landscape. And I said, this is where this is a safe landing. I want to be in this space. I want to work on myself to fit into that space, because what the education that I came in with did not quite fit in for that space. So I went back to school. I went back to post university to get my degree in early childhood child studies. And I think that I was in early 40s when I went in for that. So, I was one of the oldest graduates that year. But I wanted to go back. I wanted to work myself to fit into, that space when it comes to curriculum, working with kids. Because everything we are doing was developmentally appropriate, right? Which is not no cookie cutter method to do it when you're working with early ed kids in that landscape. That's what attracted me. That the surprises, everything that emerge, surrender yourself and become a follower of this. A 40-year-old brain not trying to fight in with a 4-year-old brain saying, "Hey, I'm going to give up. I'm going to serve because it's not going to work." So having that, it was beautiful. I was always say, in our center, the children never get a timeout. The teachers do. Ask why. I always say you put them on a chair for a timeout. For 4 minutes later, they still come back and they have no clue why they sat on the chair. You need a timeout so you can take a nice brisk walk, do yoga, get a coffee, do something. Your timeout is well worth it. So get your timeout, step out of the room for 4 minutes, come back. Our teachers get a timeout. There's time out of the classroom when you have meltdowns and things that happen. It works. It's magical.
Wow.
So
I saw that you started a resource fair. Could you tell
yes.
us a little bit about that and how people could take advantage of that?
So when I went in to do PLTI, the Parent Leadership Program, which is, it's big out there. I'm not sure if you heard about it. If not, you should. PLTI is a wonderful group and that get parents ready to be a part of their, the immediate community, part of the kids' life, become advocates or activists. So I fall into both. So when that happened, I was been reached out many years and I just could not do it because of, the work schedule and raising kids. So during COVID, when they did reach out to me, I said, yes, let's do it. It was through Zoom. Zoom is my happy space, so I don't have to travel. So I did say yes to that and went to do the PLTI, a beautiful program for parents. And part of that is a project that you have to do for the community. So would you bring it to the larger community? So that was a project I picked, Early Childhood Resource Fair. I started that because that's the space I was in, right? I was bringing that to the table as an early childhood educator. So I decided to start that. We had done it in smaller capacities inside our center in our hallway with the fairs. It was small, but it was getting bigger. So I said, this is a perfect opportunity to bring it outside of my center, just giving it to my own families, opening up to bring it to a larger community, with everything remaining the same, but including a larger community of partners, agencies, and the immediate community to be a part of it. So I started this as part of the project that year, and then it was so well received by the community and the agents, partners in the community. So what I did was included the immediate agencies, or I would say system, that was part of the student life in Danbury. So the first one is the district. Then we have agencies around, like United Way, that collaborate with families in different capacities. So I partnered with them, and in fact collaborated, and we put this big event together. I must say it was 2019, 2019 COVID time. Yes. So it was so well received, and I had to go back and, look at bigger spaces every year. It's getting so big that next year I have to find a bigger space to host it. So this year we had over 50 agencies from the immediate community. We did not even bring it out to larger Danbury, but greater Danbury, but the immediate communities when it comes to dental health, visual health, special ed services, summer camps, day camps, night camps, everything that is a part of a child's life. And parents who need caregivers when on weekends. So that makes the fabric of caregiving. We forget, we just feel school, home, and that's it. No, to take care of a child in the whole child. I mean, there are a lot of pieces. As a parent, I've learned I need a caregiver on a weekend because I want to go out with my husband to do something different. I need a caregiver sometimes in the evening who will help my child do his homework and get them through those pieces. I need a caregiver who might make a meal for me the end of the day for me and my family. There we need services for special ed kids big time because the schools are not funded enough to give what they have to give. They might need some extended services. So, visual health, dental health, there are kids who do not have it because they're not, they're not, I hate to use the word legal, but they do not have the services because the families on those challenging situations that they cannot provide them. So when we started this, we offered everything on that site on that day. So it was well received by the community. It was well received by the partners. They enjoyed it as much, and everything was offered for free. And so it started off as something really small that I enjoyed doing, and it was very personal to me, and no longer stayed personal because everybody wanted a piece of the pie. So we enjoyed sharing it with the larger community. This year, we had about 700 families, and
What
there's a need for it.
what do you so to that end, obviously the fair provides all of these resources, let people know what's available. But what do you think are some of the biggest needs faced by the families that you serve?
Special ed is a big one.
Right.
Um, and that when I started off this interview, I did say it's not 10 people team or of 10 activists shouting out loud saying, "Hey, I'm a parent, I know the struggles, and this is no." They need to look at the system. There's a major system breakdown there. You have to the system has to look at it. And like I said, the taxpayers' money is paid out. Hey, you have the funds to do it. Look at it. You know, so there should be major changes at a bigger level. So special ed is big because the inequities is it is so glaring. It's sad that students stay in a preschool environment for 5 years, and then the services are not plugged in till they get into the district. So that time lost, time wasted, time lost. Families are struggling, and the student is struggling. They're getting into the district without any services put together that's following the child. So that's major. Food insecurities. We see a lot of that. It's getting better. Think that it's getting better. I hope it stays that way. With a lot of the cuts happening around in the bigger kingdom, I call it. I hope the funds are not cut for that because there are food insecurities in every community as we talk, especially it's the kids who are struggling. I hope the SNAP continues. I hope the free meals in schools continue. I hope, that funding is never cut. That's not a piece anybody should be touching. That's very sad that people are looking at it and saying, hey, tomorrow we might not have the funds to do it. Like at my center, we collaborate with Fill Up the Blanks, a great program that brings us a meal, a bagged meal, non-perishable bagged meal every Friday for all my kids. And so all of my 150 plus another 50 in the other center, all of them get a bag meal that goes home on a Friday. So they have enough. If you have a caregiver, the person can cook and feed the kids on the weekend. So they go home with a meal for the weekend. That's two breakfasts, two lunch, and two dinners and snacks for the week. Every Friday they get a bag of that food that goes home with a child. So I hope there are more programs who look out at that. They do a great job. I hope there are more agencies who can put together something like that for every child in the community. I'm happy all of my kiddos get it, but what about the rest out there? The kids on the weekends, I've heard horror stories. So food insecurities is something that has to be looked at. I hope they never touch those funds. Those kids have to be fed.
I mean, how is this even up for debate? I mean, of all the
It's
things,
we're hearing a lot of the SNAP monies to be cut. It's very political, but I just hope they don't touch that. It's sad. It's
it's food. It's
exactly,
so
exactly.
basic.
Yeah, a hungry child, how much can he
I mean,
be a part of the larger environment in the schools?
People should. You obviously grew up in India. You've traveled there. You live there. I mean, there's naked poor in India, right? I mean, there's people
Yes,
by the
yes,
river that aren't eating. Like
yes.
that's and one of the things we always say is we're the land of opportunity. We're a wealthy country. Like we don't want that, right? We don't want people being hungry. We shouldn't have to
No,
have that with all the
no, especially not taking anything away from the adults, but kids
kids.
don't do that.
The parents too. The parents have to be able to take care of the kids. And I mean, do we want a community?
Exactly.
Does the United States really want a community where people can't eat? They don't understand what that
Yes,
is.
we're getting there where we are getting there where um they have to choose between putting food on the table or keeping the lights on. And it's sad. And you call this United States.
It's
So
unbelievable. I don't. I just to me it
yes.
doesn't make sense. What do you have a moment that stands out in your career of the last 20 years where you knew you were really making a difference?
I would say I've had the aha moments. I have had many aha moments where, uh, I uh, I have had kids who come back to me 15 years later and say, Miss Minnie, I'm here because you fought my case, you did this, or, yeah. And I never knew about it till my mom just told me 2 years back. I'm old enough to understand that Miss Minnie stood your case and got you through this. I've had aha moments when staff who join me, I make sure, it's not just the kids, it's also the adults who are part of this larger team at our center. Amazing team. I call them my dream team. So what we do is we receive them just after the high school if they're ready to work and they're age ready. So we get them into our center, we train them, put them with our seasoned staff. And they work, and then we make sure they go back to school. We have a very aggressive education program for staff. We put them back to school. They have release time during the day to do their homeworks and stuff because they're caregivers through the day. They need to go home and get a good night's sleep. So get release time, paid release time during the day to do their assignments. So they stay in school, and 5 years later they have a bachelor's. And it's the best part is they brought home a check. They got to work on their, themselves as an educator, and then they got it for free because we make sure they get scholarships from OEC or different entities. I make sure they get the scholarship to pay off, and that's a degree, a no debt free degree. That's an aha moment that they come out and they say, I said, you're free to go if you choose to, but most of them do stay back with me. So I have staff. At least I have at least 7 of them I got them as high school kiddos. I call them still, and then today they are amazing early childhood educators with credentials that they can choose to walk away, but they will not because they believe the magic did happen there.
Well, I did see somewhere when we were researching you that some folks have called you a hero, and I know that's like a heavy thing to take on. But what is that? How does that make you feel? What does that mean to you?
I would not do anything if I didn't enjoy it as much. So the first thing that happened in that piece will be I enjoyed it first. So why would I tell share the story as something big? No, I enjoyed that first. I was, and if someone else enjoyed it as much and won't put me on that pedestal, calling me a hero, great. So I love it when they do it, but I'm honestly not looking for it. But it was very kind of United Way doing that. And then even if you check the NIAC, that's for early childhood education, NIAC is the top, right, for quality component. You go look for, I was the spotlight member for NIAC. That was national. So, it must have done something right in this landscape that I was one of the spotlight members for NIAC also. But it feels good. I never look for it, I never look for something like that. But honestly, feels good. Feels like another little trophy. But there's nothing. Heroes. My kids call me their superhero.
Oh.
That's something big.
So as the hero, what's your dream for the future of this organization and the work that you do?
I universal preschool for kids. That's something I'm looking at. A free preschool for families who are struggling and making less than $100,000 will have free preschool for their kiddos as of July 2027. It did happen. The bill just got passed last month. So that's something many of us who in this field who wanted that was a big dream. We wanted to happen. So every classroom that shuts down, if you do the math, that'll be 20 families that's deprived of childcare. And if one parent of those 20 kids decide to stay home, that's 20 people out of your workforce.
Mm.
Do the math. Financially, that is not acceptable as a state. So when we saw this, so this is why I say we keep Connecticut working. Connecticut workforce, we have a workforce because you have childcare centers, because that's an age group, you can't leave them alone. It's not like high school kids. So you need a caregiver. So if the parent is not the caregiver, then offer it for free because they have to work to pay. But that was one of the dreams. I always, when I moved into this industry, this landscape as an early childhood educator and as an advocate for the early childhood education piece, be it families, staff, or children, I always wanted that to happen because our families pay a lot for childcare. And there is no reason a family should pay more childcare than college because that's where we are. And that's not acceptable.
Wow. So, what advice would you give to someone, a young person, maybe indigenous to the United States, or somebody who's emigrating, whatever it may be? Somebody's here, and they say, "Minnie, I want to make a difference. I want to help the community. I want to give back in some way." What advice? What would you tell them?
Any agency that, or any group of people that you support, be it the district or early ed, or, make some time to sit on the other side of the table to advocate for, go to board meetings. I say, hey, that's time you want to take out once a month to do it. Go to agency meetings to, so you can be in the best space of your life, but the person right next to you might need your voice to do it. Do it for them. Partner with agencies. Partner with community action agencies to ask, hey, how can I help? Philanthropy is a big word. Not everybody can get into that piece, but do what you can to help the community in cash and kind, both. I always say both. You can giving your time. It starts with giving your time for them. Be there for your kids or someone else's kids. It doesn't have to be your own kids, but be there for children in the community. They do need advocates. We are so much in short of that. You're just looking away because it's not your child, and that's sad. And that's a really sad situation. So make a difference. It starts from home. Look at your neighbor. Look at your community. Look at your little village. There are a lot of people who need help in different capacities. Be a voice for them.
The theme of my podcast, obviously learning about people that are making a difference in the community, but the I'll call my guy is sort of an expression meaning that you'll call your person that can help you, like, you're in a jam or you need advice or you need guidance, and you say, you say, Rich, my furnace isn't working, what do I do? And I say, I'll call my guy. I'll call Dave or Jim or Janet, whatever it may be. And so I would like you to just speak for a minute or two about the importance of relationships, because that's the theme here that we like to explore, is the relationships. Obviously, you came to the United States without many relationships, right? You were new. You probably didn't know many people at all. Maybe you had some family. Maybe somebody introduced you to somebody. But now you are as enmeshed and a part of the community with thousands of relationships. And I'm fascinated by that, and that's what I try to study and sort of talk about and bring out in this podcast. Could you just tell me briefly about the importance of relationships in providing the outreach and the services that you do?
I go every year to work with high school kids. They have leadership programs and different. Just last week, I was with the Dominican Community Center. So there's a piece that I shared, and I drop the thought on every table that I go to, and it starts with my own kids at home. I said, your network should be more than your net worth.
Network should be more than your net worth. That's an excellent, excellent piece of advice. And am I understanding it correctly that
It
the
starts with the
network of
relationships.
people is more valuable than your money?
You got that. You have to build relationships. It's not about who you know, it's also about who knows you.
Annie, thank you for spending this hour with me. You have lots of you're doing important work, building networks and helping people that need it the most. And I'm honored to have spent that time with you and learned about you. And I wish you continued success and helping the community and just keep doing what you're doing because we need it now more than ever.
Oh, thank you. I enjoyed this conversation. Have
All
a
right.
wonderful day, okay?
Bye bye.